Our first look at Balgia, more interactions with Yugioh, plus we need to talk about Earthdemar once again as it continues to evolve and grow. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 48 of the Yugioh Go Rush anime series. A really good setup episode that continues plot threads while also shows how future plot threads can be resolved later on. Let's talk about it. So first and foremost, we need to talk about Danamu. After gaining and experiencing human emotions alongside developing free will, he has gained a human physical form. Now this was a wild revelation to start with, but it really is a good workaround, because we couldn't have Yumu not be herself forever, and with a human form like he has now, it makes me think that Danamu could be a longer lasting character than I first initially thought. But another thing that I really did like from the presentation of Danamu's character was the fact they showed him off as being a child and all of those childish traits that he presented. Once he saw Rush Dueling being restricted and less free, he got out of control with anger, because it's something he highly values that was being mistreated. He got excited about seeing new horizons and places and just wanted to go off exploring. We saw him cry uncontrollably when hurting himself. All of these are over-the-top, explosive, and sporadic behavior traits that all link to his childishness. But at the same time, all of these reflect the fact that Danamu still has room and needs to grow as a character. He needs to develop and mature. Which obviously we've seen the Earthdemar throughout his existence, learning, progressing, experiencing, and evolving. So this is just another experience that Danamu needs to overcome and to experience in order for him to become what he's meant to be. Now, of course, Danamu's need to develop could also be a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it gives us some entertaining and wild segments while he's still developing, and it explains why the character is the way that it currently is. But the bad effects that it has is Danamu is still very impressionable because it's still learning. Now, if it stays with Team UTS, then that's fine. No harm, no foul. But Team Yugioh is the negative influence that we need to be careful that it doesn't get impressionable by. We know that Yugioh wants the Earthdemar and needs to use it as a tool for war. And Yugioh is someone who will do anything for power. Look at the Luke. Yugioh purposefully used the Luke's power and fed him lies and words that would trigger the Luke for a reaction. And now with Danamu, who Yugioh wants, but Yugioh knows that Danamu is easily influenced by dueling, and Danamu also has a weakness. That weakness is his friendship with Yuhi. I can see Yugioh trying to harm Yuhi if the Earthdemar doesn't comply with Yugioh's orders, and that could be very problematic. Speaking of Yugioh, I love how they've been building him up as the antagonist here. We've seen the lengths that he'll go to achieve his goals. But seeing how he's using the Luke's power to free the Bulgarian council to make himself the sole decision maker and flip the script, because that's exactly what he does. The soldiers of Bulgaria loved seeing the fun and excitement and enjoyment that Yuhi and Yumu had, and wanted their dueling to be more like that, with the soldiers being ones that are loyal and following orders of whatever the council goes with. They blindly will now follow Yugioh into war and using rush dueling like they did before. They are terrified of Yugioh, and the expression on the commander's face after seeing Yugioh still being alive just makes that very clear as day. And obviously the actions and effects that Yuhi and Yumu have had on the soldiers in making them see the fun and enjoyment in dueling will be rewarded once Yugioh is dealt with, and thus aiding Yugioh and the council's effort in bringing peace when it comes to ending the war. So it wasn't all pointless. As a side note though, I thought it was really funny how Yugioh said that they need to use the Earthdemar's power responsibly. And I can safely say that my definition of responsible and Yugioh's definition of using it responsibly are two very different things. Like, Yugioh, I don't think you're the person to speak about using power responsibly in a kind manner. I don't know, just greeting the entire council and giving death glares everywhere you go kind of doesn't sit well. Now then, let's look at Yuumu from this episode. I really did enjoy the character presentation of her. Firstly, she showed awareness of the fact that she was possessed by saying she's glad to finally be free. Her little freak out over the Earth-Damar using her body in such a way that it did was great, but also her enjoyment and excitement while exploring Bolgier and the enthusiasm that she brought to the episode was on point. It wasn't over the top like it was in her play episode, it was just the right amount. Plus, she had a lot of sass to her tone and her dialogue. I love that line where she was saying how she thinks Yuki's plan's already going to fail. But yeah, at the same time, she points out how the Earth-Damar is like a baby, and all round, she was a great asset to this episode. Yuki was also rather decent here, showcasing a bit of protectiveness towards the Earth-Damar by actually standing up to Yugioh, which showed courage and bravery, considering that Yuki has never beaten Yugioh in a duel yet, and we do still have that hesitation and fear lingering with Yuki's character when he comes up to Yugioh. As a side note though, I love the fact that they're still reusing for designs for old Yuki and old Yuumu. That was really fun. Now back over in Mutsuma Town, I really loved how the group interacted with Yugioh here in helping him calm down and think things through and not rush headlong into things. This was brilliant as it showed all of the connections and bonds that Yugioh has managed to create while being a part of UTS. War is approaching and yet everyone is ready to help Yugioh, even though they don't have any connections or obligations to join, which I think just speaks volumes to the friendship and bonds that Yugioh has created over and over again, which really made this segment really heartwarming and just wholesome in general. So I don't know about anybody else, but I really did enjoy this episode. I can't wait to see what happens next, and I wonder if we'll ever see more planets in Bolgier, because we currently are on planet 8 of Bolgier, which I think, again, is a great reference to the title of Go Rush, because, you know, Go is 8, we've got the 8 million and 8,888 soldiers. You know, we always have references to 8, and I really do like that. But again, I do wonder if we're going to see people from like planet 6 or planet 4 of Bolgier. Anyway, though, let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss a video from myself. And have a great day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.